this lesson, I'm going to teach you about implicit differentiation, and then we'll use that to figure out the derivative rules for log functions. So before I can teach you implicit differentiation, I need to review with you chain rule, and specifically how to do chain rule when it's in Leibniz notation. It's going to be a bit different than how we did it before, but you'll see how it connects to implicit differentiation pretty quickly. So before I take you through this example, notice what the example is asking us to do is differentiate this function. Differentiate y with respect to x. And the function is a power of a function. It's 5 plus 2x to the power of 10. So early in the course, I taught you how to differentiate that using the power of a function rule, which is a special case of the chain rule. And how we did that would be to differentiate the outside function with respect to the inside function. And that means bring the exponent down, keep the inside function exactly as it is, and reduce the exponent by 1. And then that needs to be multiplied by the derivative of the inside function. And the derivative of 5 plus 2x is 2. So our derivative, 10 times 2 is 20, so it would be 20 times 5 plus 2x to the power of 9. That's how we did it earlier in the course. I'm just going to move this off to the side so that we remember that answer. But now I'm going to teach you how to do this in a slightly different way. It's going to seem more complicated, but like I said, it's going to help you understand implicit differentiation. So we're going to differentiate this power of a function still. We're still going to find dy dx. But the question tells us to make a substitution and let u equal 5 plus 2x so that we get y equals u to the 10. So let me write down what we have. So the original function was y equals 5 plus 2x to the power of 10. And then the question says, let u equal 5 plus 2x. If that's the case, then our new function would be y equals u to the power of 10. And now we're going to differentiate this function with respect to x. So we still want to calculate dy over dx, which is a little bit of a problem because we now have a function of u. So how do we differentiate a function of u with respect to x? And that's what this top line up here is showing you. If y is a function of u and u is a function of x, we can still get the derivative of y with respect to x if we do it in two parts. We first differentiate y with respect to u and then multiply that by the derivative of u with respect to x. And then see how those cancel out, and what we end up with is dy over dx. So hopefully you can see why the two sides of that equation are equal. So if we want to differentiate y with respect to x, but y is a function of u, what we do is we first differentiate y with respect to u, and then multiply that by the derivative of u with respect to x. And once again, hopefully you see that these two things are equivalent because those can cancel out. So we end up with dy over dx. And let me show you how this works. So we're trying to find the derivative of y with respect to x. And I told you we could do that by first differentiating y with respect to u. And that would be easy to do because here I have y written as a function of u. So if I wanted to find the derivative of y with respect to u, I would just use the power rule. 10u to the 9. So I can replace dy over du with 10u to the 9. So that's the derivative of y with respect to u, but I want the derivative of y with respect to x, which is why I now need to multiply this by the derivative of u with respect to x. And right up here, I see that I have u written as a function of x. So I can find the derivative of u with respect to x from this equation. So the derivative of u with respect to x, well, if I differentiate 5 plus 2x, I get 0 plus 2, so that's just 2. So down here, I can replace the du over dx with 2. And notice what I have, dy over dx is equal to, well, 10u to the 9 times 2 is 20u to the 9. And remember, u, if we look at our let statement, is actually 5 plus 2x. So I can replace that u with 5 plus 2x. So I have 20 times 5 plus 2x to the 9. And remember, that's the exact same answer that we got doing it the other way from before. Right up here, 20 times 5 plus 2x to the power of 9. So what I want you to take away from this is I can differentiate y with respect to x by first differentiating with respect to something else, as long as I then remember to multiply that by the derivative of that something else with respect to x. So let's get into some implicit differentiation. So up until now, most functions were written in the form in which y was defined explicitly as a function of x, meaning y was isolated. We had y equals and then some function of x. In that equation, y is isolated and is expressed explicitly as a function of x. Functions could also be defined implicitly by relations such as a circle, x squared plus y squared equals 16. In that case, y is not isolated or explicitly defined in terms of x. We could try and rearrange it and isolate for y and then differentiate it, but that's often really difficult to do or even impossible to do. So in that case, it would be necessary to use the chain rule to implicitly differentiate when it's in implicit form. So in this example with the circle, I've got three terms. This one's a function of x. I could think of that one as a function of x. So those would be easy to differentiate with respect to x. But this is a function of y. So to differentiate that with respect to x, I would need to use this rule I have outlined here. To differentiate a function of y with respect to x, what we do is we first differentiate it with respect to y, which we're allowed to do as long as we remember to multiply that by the derivative of y with respect to x. So if we have a function of y, but we want to differentiate it with respect to x, first differentiate it with respect to y, and then multiply that by the derivative of y with respect to x. And what happens is those cancel, and we get the derivative of the function of y with respect to x. Example 2 says, differentiate each of the following with respect to x using implicit differentiation. So notice in this equation, y is not isolated. It's written as x squared plus y squared equals 16. And I don't have to isolate y. I can use implicit differentiation. With all three of these terms, I'm just going to try and differentiate them with respect to x. So it would be easy to find the derivative of x squared with respect to x. So I would need to find the derivative of x squared with respect to x. That'll be easy. Plus, I'm going to have to find the derivative of y squared with respect to x. That's not going to be so easy because this is a function of y. So what I'm going to do is I'm first going to find the derivative of y squared with respect to y. But keep in mind, I want to find the derivative with respect to x, so I then need to multiply that by the derivative of y with respect to x. And right, see how that leaves me with the derivative of y squared with respect to x. And then on the other side, that 16 is also going to have to be differentiated with respect to x. So I wrote this out in Leibniz notation. As we get better at this, we probably won't need this line, but I'm just showing you, this is just a way of communicating what I need to do with each of these terms. So this first term, I need to find the derivative of x squared with respect to x. That's easy, that's just 2x. Plus, now I need the derivative of y squared with respect to y. That's easy, that's just 2y. But that needs to be multiplied by the derivative of y with respect to x. So I'm just going to write dy over dx. And this equals the derivative of 16 with respect to x. That's just 0. And keep in mind with this question, what do we actually want? We want the derivative of y with respect to x. I have that right here. I just now need to isolate it, and then I'll see what it's equal to. So to isolate that dy over dx, I'll start by moving the 2x over. So on the left, I have 2y times dy over dx. Move that 2x over, it becomes negative 2x. And now I just have to divide both sides by 2y. And I have dy over dx equals negative 2x divided by 2y. And dy over dx equals negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. So this simplifies to negative x over y. There's my derivative of y with respect to x. It equals negative x over y. Let's try another example. So once again, y is not isolated. So I'm going to have to use implicit differentiation to differentiate this with respect to x. I'm going to differentiate each of the terms separately. So when I differentiate y squared, I want the derivative of y squared with respect to x, but that's a function of y. So I'll start by differentiating y squared with respect to y. But if I want the derivative of y squared with respect to x, I then need to multiply this by the derivative of y with respect to x. Second term, I then need to find the derivative with respect to x of x cubed. That's easy because that is a function of x. Minus, I now need to differentiate y cubed with respect to x, but that's a function of y. So I'll first differentiate it with respect to y, as long as I remember to then multiply that by the derivative of y with respect to x. plus I'll need to find the derivative with respect to x of 6. On the other side of the equation, I'll have to differentiate 3y with respect to x, but that's a function of y, so I'll start by differentiating that with respect to y, and then multiply that by the derivative of y with respect to x. So in these examples, we're trying to find dy over dx. We're trying to find the derivative with respect to x. So if we have to differentiate with respect to something other than x, we then have to multiply by the derivative of that something else, so y, with respect to x. And now we do a whole bunch of simplifying. And I'm maybe going to clean this up a little bit. I've been using Leibniz notation for everything here. Anytime you see a dy over dx, we could write that in the other notation we've used, where we just write that as y prime. So I'm just going to change the dy over dx's. I'm going to change those to y prime. You don't have to do this. It just might make it look a little bit cleaner. And now let's go through and do the derivatives. So I need to do the derivative of y squared with respect to y. That's easy. That's 2y. And then that's being multiplied by y prime. So I've got 2y y prime plus the derivative of x cubed with respect to x is 3x squared minus the derivative of y cubed with respect to y is 3y squared. And that's being multiplied by y prime, plus the derivative of 6 with respect to x, that's just 0, equals the derivative of 3y with respect to y is 3, and that's being multiplied by y prime. And remember, we're trying to find dy over dx, which is what y prime means, so we need to isolate y prime. But I see 3 of them. So I'm going to start by bringing all 3 to the same side of the equation. So I've got 2y y prime minus 3y squared y prime minus 3y prime equals, and then this 3x squared is the only term that doesn't have a y prime with it, so I'll move that over to the right. That's negative 3x squared. And since on the left all 3 terms have a y prime, I could common factor that out. And then what I'm left with in the brackets is 2y minus 3y squared minus 3. And what I can do now to isolate the y prime is divide both sides by this factor 2y minus 3y squared minus 3. So y prime equals negative 3x squared divided by that factor 2y minus 3y squared minus 3. Now that we've done a couple examples of implicit differentiation, I can now prove to you the rule for differentiating a log function. So here's the proof for the derivative of y equals log base a of x, where we're going to treat a as if it is some number bigger than 0 and not 1, right? Those are the restrictions on the base of a log function. So when we're doing all of this, keep in mind a is actually a number. We're not treating it like a variable in this. So it says start by writing an inverse form. That means change this log equation to an exponential equation. So what does y equals log base a of x actually mean? It means y is the exponent that goes on a to get x. So I could rewrite this as a to the y equals x. And it says now use implicit differentiation to differentiate this with respect to x. And keep in mind, we're treating a like a number, not a variable. So if I want to use implicit differentiation to differentiate this with respect to x, well, I would need to differentiate a to the y with respect to x, but it's a function of y. So I would need to differentiate it with respect to y first. So I'll find the derivative of a to the y with respect to y first, as long as I then multiply that by dy over dx. And I'll have to differentiate the right side as well. And that's a function of x, so that's easy to do. I could differentiate it with respect to x right away. So I'll find the derivative of x with respect to x. Okay, now I'll do all of my differentiations. I need to find the derivative of a to the y with respect to y. And hopefully you remember your derivative rules for exponential functions. The derivative rule would tell me to keep the power, a to the y, and then multiply that by ln of the base of the power. And then that needs to be multiplied by dy over dx. And that's equal to, well, the derivative of x with respect to x is just 1. And now let's isolate dy over dx by dividing both of these factors to the other side, and I get 1 over a to the y ln a. And notice, what's a to the y equal to? Oh, right here it tells me a to the y equals x. So in my simplified version of the derivative, I figure out it equals 1 over x ln a. So the derivative of log base a of x equals 1 over x ln a. So it equals 1 over the argument times ln of the base. So here's the rule for you. The derivative of log base a of x with respect to x equals 1 over the argument, x, times ln of the base of the log. So times ln a. And the argument of the log might not always just be x. It might be some function of x, where we'll need chain rule then to differentiate it. So we'll start off the same. We'll differentiate the outside with respect to the inside. So it would be 1 over the argument times ln of the base. But then that will have to be multiplied by the derivative of the inside function. So the derivative of the argument. And then we could simplify that a bit. 1 times f prime of x, we could just move that f prime of x into the numerator. So let's differentiate a couple log functions. So I've got y equals 2 ln of 1 plus x squared. Remember, ln is the natural logarithm. Ln x means the same thing as log base e of x. So make sure you know that connection. And now let's differentiate this using our new rule for differentiating log functions. So first of all, I'm going to notice I could use the constant multiple rule. If I want the derivative of 2 times ln of 1 plus x squared, that's equal to 2 times the derivative of that ln of 1 plus x squared. And the derivative of ln of 1 plus x squared would be 1 over the argument, 1 plus x squared, times ln of the base. And what's the base of this log? Well, it's the natural logarithm, so I know the base is e. So multiply it by ln e. And then because the argument was a function of x, I need to do chain rule, which then tells me I would need to multiply this derivative by the derivative of the inside function. So the derivative of 1 plus x squared is 2x. And now let's simplify this a bit. Y prime equals, well, 2 times 1 times 2x is 4x, so I can put that in the numerator. And then in the denominator, I've got 1 plus x squared times ln e. And ln e, remember, ln e is just 1, because really ln e means what exponent goes on e to get e. That's 1. So here's my simplified derivative, 4x over 1 plus x squared. Part B says f at x equals 1 minus log base 4 of 2x minus 1. So if we're going to find f prime of x, well, I'll differentiate 1 with respect to x, that's just 0, minus, now I'll differentiate this log function with respect to x, and I know the derivative of that would be 1 over the argument, 2x minus 1, times ln of the base is 4, and that needs to be multiplied by the derivative of the argument, which is the inside function. So the derivative of 2x minus 1 is 2. So f prime of x equals negative 2, right? Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2 over 2x minus 1 ln 4. And that's all we could do for that one. That's our derivative. Now that's technically the end of the lesson, but I want to show you one more thing, just for interest's sake. What if I asked you to find the derivative with respect to x of just ln x? Well, ln is the natural logarithm. It's a log function. So we'll use the same derivative rule as we do for log functions. It'd be 1 over the argument times ln of the base. And remember, the base of the natural logarithm is e. And ln e is just 1. So it would be 1 over x times 1, which is just 1 over x. So the derivative of ln x is just 1 over x. Something interesting to know. Okay, that's the end of the lesson. Make sure you try out these practice questions.